One of the biggest threats to your real estate closing is not a bad inspection, not a bad appraisal, not even a title issue. It is sending your life savings to a criminal and not finding out until it is too late. If you're buying a home in the state of Connecticut, you will be sending money to your closing attorney. If that's the case, this video applies directly to you. One fake email can cost you thousands of dollars, destroy your life savings, and even cost you your house. Hi, I'm attorney Kishore Kapoor, a residential real estate closing attorney here in the state of Connecticut. And every day I share real life stories from real closings so you can learn from my clients' mistakes and you don't make them at your closing, so you can have a smooth and stress-free closing. Now, I'm going to give you a caveat with this because the story makes me tear up and you may hear my voice crack. So we heard a story, and this was not one of our closings, thankfully, but this is why wire fraud is so near and dear to my heart. We heard a story of a couple in Florida that was buying their forever home. Everything was going smoothly. About a week before closing, they got an email with wire instructions, and they wired $307,000 to a criminal. And the worst part is they lost their home. This was their dream home and their life savings. And their money went to a scammer. And unfortunately, because it took 2 days for them to find out, the FBI couldn't recover any of the money. So don't be this situation. Don't let a scammer take your life savings away. This client could have avoided this problem very easily if they had just picked up the phone and called their attorney to verify their wire instructions were accurate. They would have discovered this was a scam. Now, here's the scary part. This is a common story we're hearing in real estate closing attorneys or circles right now. Because what used to take 10 or 15 people 10 years ago to do, take one person in an AI bot to find out you were selling a home or you're buying a home, and they're going to try to interject themselves into the transaction. So like I said, we take wire fraud very seriously at my firm. I think a lot of attorneys do, but we take it a step farther. So we have an online portal called Qualia. This is a secure portal that requires you to log in, and it also will require you to do quick wire fraud training with instructions that you're not supposed to send a wire anywhere beside this sheet unless you hear from me or my associate. But the point is, you need to hear from your attorney if something changes. And in those instructions, it says that you should verify those wire instructions with a known number. Don't call the number that's on the wire instructions. If you've been calling your attorney, and I'm going to use our number, 203-693-8055, for all your communications, and this one says 203-366-4242. If you call it, it's time and temperature phone number, right? So it's a real number, it's not. But if it tells you to call that number instead of the number you know, that should be a red flag, right? And this is a game of red flags. Anything that feels off, call your attorney. Our goal as your closing attorney is to protect your money. We can't protect your money if you don't include us on major decisions like wiring it to somewhere because you got an email, right? That should be a red flag that nobody called you and told you to wire the money or gave you instructions, right? It is very common. So there's a few lessons to learn here. But before we do, if you need an attorney to help represent you on buying a house or selling a house in the state of Connecticut, and you want to ask questions about how to handle wire instructions or wire fraud or wire protections that we have in place, be sure to give us a call. We'll happily explain everything to you. And if you need a great attorney for your closing, I'm happy to help you. So some of those lessons we said you can learn. Verify everything. Like I said, call the known number for your attorney or your paralegal, or call both, right? Make sure that you can confirm that the wire instructions are legitimate. Like I explained, wire fraud is on the rise, and you have to understand it is very easy to become a victim of this because with the creation of AI, these criminals are sitting outside of the United States. They've got perfect English now. They make it sound very legitimate. The risk is real. So what you need to do is you need to make sure you communicate with your attorney. Number one. Number two, question any changes. Anything that seems odd, a new email address that you haven't heard from, changes to the wire instructions, a new phone number, saying, oh, we have updated wire instructions. Those are major red flags, right? If I'm updating your wire instructions and saying, hey, no, send the wire here instead of there, I'm going to either meet with you in person or schedule a phone call. You're going to know that my team and I are going to be the ones you communicate with. The biggest way to prevent wire fraud is to slow down, right? Take a few extra minutes. If it doesn't pass the sniff test, call. Show up at my front door, right? Ring our doorbell and say, hey, I wanted to verify wire instructions before I wired them. That's easy, right? It's a time issue. The fraudsters know in real estate, everything is happening so fast, and they count on the fact that we are running at top speeds, and you might not be always thinking, right? Or thinking at your best capacity. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. We have a lot going on. There's 6 things going on at all times with a real estate closing. We're an easy target. One of the things when you're hiring a closing attorney you should ask for is ask about what they do for wire fraud and what safeguards they have in place. I can tell you what I do. I can't tell you what our next attorney will do. We have an online portal that we send you wire instructions from. Whenever we have to wire out, we've called either the lender and verified it, or we call the seller and verify it, or we call the seller's attorney. We are verifying because at the end of the day, it's not my money that gets lost, it's yours. And I would hate to be the reason why you don't close on your dream home. So if you found this information useful and you enjoyed it, be sure to watch this video where we talk about lessons and things that every buyer and seller should know so that they can have a smooth and stress-free closing. And if you found this information useful, be sure to subscribe because every day I share tips, stories, practical advice from a real estate closing attorney so you can have a smooth and stress-free closing.